Hey, what is up guys, and welcome to another Honkai Star Rail video. I got another Pure Fiction video for you guys today. This season of Pure Fiction is all about ultimates. And for the first half, I've brought my Firefly team, although I did want to use my DOT team with Black Swan and Kafka, since they do work really well with ultimate buff, usually. But unfortunately, Kafka is the boss on the first half, so the lightning resist definitely hurts Kafka. And this particular mob, the Mara Struck Soldier, has wind resist, so Black Swan's going to struggle a little bit with that as well. I also thought about bringing Zile on the first half. It probably would have worked, but this Mara Struck Soldier, like I said, also has a revive mechanic, so she'll have some issues triggering the Resurgence proc. I probably could have done it with Zile, but I just didn't really want to deal with all that. So we decided to go with the good old Firefly team that pretty much works into anything that doesn't have weakness lock. So for the first half, we have Firefly, Rame, Pela, the Harmony Trailblazer. Of course, these two must be always paired together. I brought Pela because there's a lot of mobs weak to ice in the first half particularly, and the revive mechanic also can be dealt with her. As for the buff, we chose the second one, which increases the damage dealt by Shatter by 20%, and when triggered, applies one stack of Shatter to adjacent targets. Obviously, the other two don't really help because Firefly doesn't have an attacking ultimate. For the second half, I chose my Acheron team as usual. Acheron always performs well in Pure Fiction due to AoE, and the fact that the ultimate buff is up for this particular season means she will do exceptionally well. So we have Acheron, Kafka, Gallagher, and Sparkle. For the buff, I chose Rupture, the first one. When enemy targets with Shatter are defeated, increases the damage dealt by ultimates of all allies in this battle by 15%, and this stacks up to 20 times. So that is a huge damage boost to both Acheron and Kafka. Alright, and as usual, I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay and commentary. Alrighty, so for the first half, we start off with the Trailblazer's technique, followed by Rame's technique. We initiate the fight with Firefly's technique. Rame uses her skill. And then we're going to weakness break this mob with Pela. Save the ultimate. Pop Rame's ultimate immediately though. And then Firefly's going to use her skill. General, we're going to save that as well. Until Harmony Trailblazer uses his skill, gets his ultimate. Now we're going to pop all the ultimates. First Pela's, the defense break them all. Actually, this is just going to wipe out some of the mobs because just do the extra break damage and the resurgence or turbulence, whatever you want to call it. Now Firefly is going to use her ult, advance forward, weakness break. And all the mobs die. We get a reset here. I'm trying to decide which one I want to weakness break. I go for the cannon soldier because he does AoE. I don't want my units to take that much damage. We get lucky here and the soldier aggroes Firefly, who has the most aggro and takes the least amount of damage. So I'm okay with that. Alright, and what did you look at that? That technique, or the break damage from Firefly's technique, just instantly wipes most of the mobs. And that trash can dying right away actually helps a lot because that thing, it hurts. You need to prioritize killing that thing if you don't have a sustain like me. I'm running a 0 sustain comp right here, so we need to either weakness break. Well, basically when you weakness break the trash can, it dies anyway, so you just need to kill the trash can as fast as you can. Okay, see right here we saved our Pela's ultimate specifically just so we could weakness break the trash can and instantly kill it. This is only possible because we have Ruan Mei with the extra weakness break efficiency. If you're not running Ruan Mei, well then you might have a little bit of an issue with that. Either that you're gonna have to save another ultimate, 2 ultimates to deal with that trash can. Or you could run someone like Shrei, I guess, who has really high weakness break efficiency with her ultimate already. That's also another way to deal with that trash can. So here is Ruan Mei's ultimate. Here we're gonna decide. We decide to break those mobs on the right. Here I'm deciding which ones to weakness break. Honestly, I probably should have chose the ones that are right. I think I ultimately choose to weakness break the ones that are left for some reason. The ones that have a revive mechanic, and he ends up reviving anyways. So I feel like that's a bit of a misplay on my part. Definitely was not the perfect run on either half. I definitely remember misplaying the second half quite a bit, but we'll get to that in a moment. Here, they're almost dead. Although I do have full skill points, I need to refresh Rame's skill, so we do that. So instead we're going to have the Harmony Trailblazer finish them off. Alright, final wave. Gonna go for Kafka. Not really, honestly, though. I just did that because the two mobs were gonna die to the side anyways. There's no point in trying to kill Kafka unless you want a full clear. You want to definitely eliminate the mobs to the side first before you focus Kafka. You can weakness break her, though, to prevent her from taking actions, which is what I did eventually. Because you don't want to be taking too much damage. Speaking of damage, my Rowan Maze basically almost dead, and she's probably the second most important. Well, obviously Firefly's the most important, but like in terms of supports, she's like the second most important one. You don't want her dying, otherwise you'd lose all that damage, all that weakness break efficiency. And the Harmony Trailblazer is by far the most important one. Here we go ahead and weakness break Kafka, so she doesn't take any turns and we take less damage. Pop the ultimate as well. But yeah, once the Harmony Trailblazer goes, you will notice a huge damage, loss of damage for Firefly. Like, the amount of super break damage that you rely from the Harmony Trailblazer putting out is, like, insane. So, once my Harmony Trailblazer goes down... Oh, and right here, I almost bricked this run by not immediately pressing the ultimate on Firefly. If that mob actually targeted Firefly instead of Pela, this run would have been bricked because my Firefly would have died. So I was not really paying attention to that, or I wasn't responsive enough to that particular play right there. And I also honestly forgot that Firefly consumes HP when she uses her skill when she's not in her, what do you call it? I forgot what the name is, but super combustion state or something. Because honestly, she's almost in that state, and she always heals herself. So when she's not in that state, I kind of just forgot that she hurts herself like Blade. So that was my bad, basically. Make sure you guys are paying attention when you do your Pure Fiction runs or any sort of runs. Here the Harmony Trailblazer goes, so a lot of our damage, you'll notice here that our damage drops significantly, like by quite a bit. Here, you'll see once the Firefly attacks. Like, without the Harmony Trailblazer, Firefly is like not even a character, honestly. Look, we only do 40k break damage there. If the Trailblazer was alive there, that would have been easily over 100k. So that is a huge damage decrease. Even though it's Pure Fiction and you don't need like tons of damage to clear it, you still, I mean, it still makes quite a bit of a difference. Alright, she's out of her state, and unfortunately she's not going to be able to take another turn before this cycle ends, so it's pretty much it here. We still keep going though, because we can get a little bit more points from the shatter breaks here, or the shatter procs from the what do you call it, seasonal turbulence. And now we just wait for Firefly to slowly die a painful death. But we get points here. As you can see, the shatter is doing work, and that is the first half as Firefly goes down. Second half, we use Sparkle's technique and initiate the fight with Acheron's technique. There's only two characters that have, what do you call it? Or there's only two techniques I can use because the other two are active techniques. And honestly, I think the best one to use would be Acheron's. We're going to advance forward Acheron with Sparkle. Here I'm deciding whether or not I should attempt to kill one of the dogs here with the skill. I don't think the damage is enough. So we just end up using the ultimate to clear out the first half, or the first wave. First part of the wave. Might have been a little bit of an overkill, but it's fine.
May as well kill 'em all.
Here I'm deciding which one to weakness break. Honestly, I don't think it mattered because Kafka's ultimate here is just going to wipe the entire wave. Or it doesn't wipe it, but it gets them low enough that the shatter procs end up killing it. And that's actually a good thing because Acheron's getting a lot of Crimson Knot stacks here. Here's Gallagher. Honestly, just hit whatever. Use the ultimate. Just basic here. I'm saving Acheron's ultimate because these are the last two mobs of the wave. Here I make maybe a crucial mistake. I think it's pretty big, actually. I don't know why. I forgot to Sparkle ult. I really don't know why. If I used Sparkle's ultimate earlier, like before now, that dog would be dead. We would be on the next wave. But now I have to actually waste Kafka's skill to clear it. So I noticed that too while I was playing. I was like, maybe I should have restart. because I already screwed up, but I decided just to go with it. Why not? And then we end up using Acheron's ultimate here. Clear out the first wave in the trash can. The trash can's not nearly as dangerous or concerning for me on this second half because we have a sustainer, Gallagher. So this run's pretty comfy, honestly. There's no way my team's gonna die, or unless I get like super unlucky. See, even though like the trash can does quite a bit of damage to Gallagher, he's easily gonna heal that up once his ultimate's up, or he can use his skill if he needs to. There's Kafka's ultimate. This should clear out the majority of the wave, or if not all of the wave. Now, what do you call it? Acheron's ultimate is up. We're going to clear this wave out. I don't want to deal with those TVs. The energy drain is really annoying. There's one TV left. Which is kind of annoying as well because this TV takes quite a few turns, you'll see here shortly, to clear. Actually ends up taking an entire cycle, which is not very efficient at all. And he's finally dead. On to the last and final wave. We immediately pop Acheron's ultimate to clear out all the mobs. Get some decent damage on the Kokalia, not that it matters unless I full clear. Here's Kafka's ultimate. Here I decide to hit this mob here because Gallagher's ultimate's going to hit Kokalia regardless. I think it's almost enough to weakness break. Not quite, but we end up attacking her anyways. Yeah, so weakness breaker to prevent her from doing anything for a few more turns. At least this time I remember to use Sparkle's ultimate. Clear out these mobs here. Almost clear them out. Here I'm going to wait until they take their turns because the Shatter proc is going to be enough damage to kill them. And then we pop Acheron's ultimate to clear out the full HP mobs instead. Kokalia is almost dead, but like I said, if you bring their HP to 0, they don't die, they just stay at 1 HP. And then you'll be forced to clear out the side mobs. We get a little bit unfortunate here, and they all target, or 2 of them target Sparkle, and she gets smacked into the next cycle, which unfortunately is the end of the run, so Sparkle will not be taking another turn. We have Kafka's ultimate, we're going to pop it here. Does quite a bit of damage. Here I try to clear out this mob, but unfortunately Acheron's skill isn't quite enough damage. Luckily, however, here Kokalia decides to attack Gallagher, which allows him to ult. It also advances him forward to the front and allows Acheron to get one more Crimson Knot stack. Here I'm trying to pick a mob to kill. Unfortunately, ended up not killing this mob, even with Kafka's follow-up. But I was lucky enough to even get Gallagher to have his ultimate. So we get one more Acheron ult to finish off this run. And that is it. We ended the run with 66k, almost 67k. Not bad. Okay, now let me go over my characters and their gear real quick, starting off with Firefly. These are her stats. Light cone on the Fall of an Eon at S5. Traces all maxed out except for the basic. These are her relics. Trying to improve on them, but they're pretty solid for now. As for Eidolon, she's at Eidolon 2. On to Ruan Mei. These are her stats. She needs more break effect, but we'll fix that later. As long as the Harmony Trailblazer has all the break effect, I think it's perfectly fine. Light Cone is meshing cogs. At S5 I finally got it built up after the double trace event dropped. Speaking of traces, I finally have her main traces maxed out, so now we have the full movement speed buff and all the damage boost and what do you call it? All type pen resist as well on her ultimate. I'm probably not going to level these defense nodes as it's not really that important. These are her relics. As for Eidolons, she's at Eidolon 0. Alright, next is Pela. These are her stats. I did a bit of a meme build for her, as you can see here. She has a little bit of break effect. You'll see once I get to her relics. Her Lycone is before the tutorial mission starts at S5. I gave it to her for a little bit extra effect hit rate, so I didn't have to worry about it as much on her relic substats, and for the energy regeneration as well. Trace is fairly low investment, so don't need to worry about that. These are her relics. I gave her a 2-piece speed and a 2-piece break effect set. So, I mean, she did do quite a bit of damage, but that's mostly due to the Harmony Trailblazer having the super break buff. But I mean, I guess doing a break effect build with Firefly sort of fits the theme for this particular run. And then these are her Planar Sphere and Link Rope. As for Eidolon, she's at Eidolon 6. Alright, next is me, One Strike Dog, the Harmony Trailblazer. These are my stats. Lycone, of course, is Memories of the Past at S3. Traces, still need to max the ultimate. I think it does actually make quite a bit of a difference. Maybe not quite a bit of a difference, but I just like to max it out for the most amount of damage for Firefly. These are his relics. I recently got some new relics that I haven't equipped to him yet, like a better Planar Sphere. It's actually this one right here. Well, HP instead of attack, but I forgot to swap it. And it actually would have made him a little bit too slow. I would need to swap the other relics out, so that's why I didn't put it on the Harmony Trailblazer yet. And for Eidolons, of course, he's at E6. You get them for free, so why wouldn't he be at E6? Alright, next is Acheron. These are her stats. Not much of a difference. The only main difference for her, Lycone signature at S1. Traces maxed out, except for the basic. The only thing I changed about her was I made her a little bit faster and gave up a little bit of crit damage on her relics. I changed out her boots for speed boots instead of attack boots. And that's pretty much it. As for Eidolon, she's at E2. Next is Kafka. I changed her up quite a bit as well. You'll see here that she has energy regeneration instead of the normal attack stat that she has. I mean, she still has 3k, but usually she's at like 3.4k attack or something. For her Lycone, I gave her the Sweaty Lycone and swapped it out because she's functioning more as a support than a main DPS, so I figure the extra defense break is probably more useful than the Lycone she had before, which is this one that gives damage boost. Because Black Swan is not really on the team, so I don't think the damage boost is really going to help. Versus the defense break helps both her and Acheron in this particular team. As for traces, these are her traces. Relics, I actually swapped her relics out too. I need to fix this later because it's a complete mess. I have a 2-piece Musketeer and a 2-piece Prisoner. Usually I run her on the 4-piece Prisoner, but since there is only one DOT, her Shock, and it's not even the main damage source, I figured just more attack on her will be fine. Since we're relying on her Shock to provide Crimson Knot stacks for Acheron, and we are also relying on her ultimate just for the burst damage. And then, of course, I swapped her attack rope to an energy regeneration rope. As for Eidolon, she's at Eidolon 0. Next is Gallagher. These are his stats. He's pretty much the same as before, if I've shown you his stats already. Lycone is post-op conversation at S5. Traces, I think they're fine for now, but I could always work on them a little bit more. These are his relics, 2-piece speed set, and a 2-piece break effect set. As for Eidolon, he's at Eidolon 6. And finally, we have Sparkle. These are her stats. Lycone is Dance, Dance, Dance at S4. These are her traces. Could use a little bit more work. I could not get to her because the double trace event ended, and I finished other characters instead of her, including other Lycones as well. These are her relics, 4-piece speed set with a 2-piece broken keel set that's not active, so technically no broken keel set. As for Eidolon, she doesn't have any. Alrighty guys, well that's going to be it for this Honkai Star Rail video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. But other than that, I'll see you guys in my next Honkai Star Rail video. Take care, and peace.
Existence as fleeting as the dawn's dew, destined for oblivion. I weep for the departed. Dusk spring, it too shall